Respect, not your genuine love, respect page. I truly appreciate time to the genuine ones only. I hope your day's coming along well so far. Have a safe week. Protect your energy because not everybody's having a good time. How you doing? Have a safe week. Protect your energy because not everybody's having a good time. You know, when you're a child of God, you don't got to fake gaslight somebody. You don't wear a mask when you tune into God. You know, regardless of what trauma you install from a child point of view going into your adulthood, being sexually assaulted, dealing with domestic violence, dealing with violence, dealing with sicknesses, dealing with trauma on top of trauma. And when God allows you to become your best self vision of yourself, they don't understand how you're at peace with yourself and how God's so in tune with you because you are the miracle within yourself because God was patient with your process and God allowed you to see better days ahead. And you understood the assignment when dealing with God, you don't wear a mask when you tuned in and when God is tuned into you. And you mean what you're saying, that you're true to yourself, that when you genuinely have peace with yourself and you don't wear a mask to fake gas like nobody, because God has been working miracles within your life. And they don't understand, and it's okay if they don't understand, because that bond that you have with God can't nobody get between. And I say that respectfully. You know, elevating, becoming your best self vision was part of God's plan. Being patient with your process was part of God's plan, because God was patient with you, so you could see better days ahead. You know, the enemy projected for you to give up on yourself. The enemy projected for you to live in fear, be discouraged. But God installed patience within you so you could show up for yourself to become your best self vision of yourself. To understand the assignment that God got your back, good day, bad day, misunderstanding day. And when they can't get in tune with you, it sounds real personal. And I say that respectfully. It's the thought process for me. You know, when you're a child of God and you're trying to elevate and become your best self vision of yourself, you know, you get new enemies every time you turn around when you least expect it. You get new enemies. And because you get new enemies, they trying to figure you out. And because they trying to figure you out, they don't even know themselves. It doesn't make sense sometimes when you try to reevaluate your thought process. Like, how you trying to figure me out, but you don't even know yourself at the end of the day. And you out here fake gaslighting people like you so in tune with yourself, but you're so miserable within. And you're so worried about the child of God at the end of the day, how the child of God is elevated, becoming their best self vision of themselves. Like, you're worried about the wrong thing. Your priorities is all entangled with the wrong thing at the end of the day. Worry about the child of God, that God is working miracles in their favor and allowing them to become their best self vision of themselves. You know, they would sit there try to play you close. They would sit there and manipulate your character for something that you're truly not. And then they would have third-party conversations about you, laugh about you, joke about you. It's so funny. Who knows? At the end of the day, because at the end of the day, it sounds real personal. Because you see somebody elevate and becoming their best self vision of themselves, and they genuinely at peace with themselves, and they don't have to wear masks to tune into themselves. I don't see that funny at the end of the day. I actually see that as motivation, if you really ask me. And the people in the back feel the same way as well. You know, seeing somebody uplift themselves when in regards to what trauma was endured with them and they could become their best self vision of themselves, to understand the summit that God's working in their favor, that's motivation. I wouldn't sit here and laugh at somebody because I don't understand how somebody's flowing or how somebody's moving around or someone is talking about God at the end of the day. What's the joke about? Like, make it make sense, ma'am, sir. You know, some people may be more spiritual than others. But as long as that person doesn't have malicious intentions to bring harm towards you and others around you, it's called respect, neighbor. Stay in your lane. Just because you don't understand how God is working in favoring his child of God or favoring his chosen one at the end of the day, it's not meant for you to understand. It's not. And it's no competition at the end of the day, and I say that respectfully. Because you're sitting here trying to go in competition with somebody when someone's not even paying you no mind. It's the mindset for me. Sitting there disrespecting the child of God at the end of the day because you can't get in tune with yourself. Instead of you sitting there disrespecting the child of God, why don't you tune into yourself and respect yourself enough to elevate and become your best self vision of yourself instead of worry about an innocent person that's not bothering you, let alone acknowledging you at the end of the day. It's the mindset for me. How you can sit here and manipulate someone's character for something that they truly not. Or because they're so in tune with God, or because they're uplifting themselves, or because they know how to become their best self vision of themselves, and they took the proper steps within to become their best self vision of themselves. Something that you can't get in tune with, becoming your best self vision of yourself. No need to be a hater. No need to. No need to be jealous of somebody at the end of the day. Because they overcame trauma, being sexually assaulted as a child, being discriminated against, dealing with trauma on top of trauma, dealing with domestic violence, dealing with violence, dealing with hate crime, dealing with trauma on top of trauma, family abusing them, family brainwashing them, people manipulating their character for something they truly not, people trying to line them up. You don't know what that child of God just experienced. And for you to sit there and judge that child of God at the end of the day. Maybe somebody may overlook you. Maybe somebody take the time to get to know you. But that's not that child of God's fault at the end of the day. You can actually learn a few things from that child of God, and I say that respectfully. How they found peace within to become their best self vision of themselves. They didn't need no diagnosis from no doctor. They didn't need no prescription pill. Someone telling them how to maneuver around with their life at the end of the day for a prescription. They didn't need to be hospitalized to become their best self vision of themselves. They ain't need nobody sucking out their thought process, using them and abusing them, just so they become their best self vision of themselves. Or somebody manipulating their character for something they truly not because they have a job description. It's the mindset for me. How you sit here and disrespect the child of God because you don't understand how this child of God is becoming their best self vision of themselves. It's not meant for you to understand. And I say that respectfully. It's not meant for you to understand. That bond that child of God has with God at the end of the day, it's a personal bond that they have. That God is allowing them to become their best self vision of themselves. And God is allowing them to understand that they walk by faith, not by sight. So as God is guiding them to better days, neighbor, you're not supposed to understand that that child of God is becoming their best self vision of themselves. It's the mindset for me. God closed that trauma door in that child of God's life for a reason. People was only stopping them from becoming their best self vision of themselves. And God saw bigger and better within this child of God. This child of God was so gifted from a young point of view of age. From the age of 6, 7 years old, they were so gifted, so talented. They couldn't be able to become their best self vision of themselves as they was growing and elevating, becoming their best self vision of themselves. Because they had haters around them. They had people around them that did not have good intentions. They had people around them that was trying to brainwash them. They had people around them that didn't mean well. And God heard all those private conversations amongst those private conversations. And God protected that child of God. God covered that child of God. So that when that child of God gets to a certain age, that child of God will be able to express themselves. That child of God will be able to do God's work. And I say that respectfully. It's the mindset for me. How you can sit here and discredit your neighbor. And your neighbor never had malicious intentions towards you. Let alone disrespected you in no shape or form. Telling your neighbor at the end of the day that they're unworthy of themselves. They're whack. They're corny. Wow. Just because it's something that you don't like, that they have a gift within them. No need to be a hater in disguise at the end of the day. It's called respect your neighbor and stay in your lane. Especially when your neighbor doesn't have malicious intentions to bring harm towards you and others around you. And especially when that neighbor is giving you the credit that you deserve, regardless if you don't want the credit or not. When someone says, congratulations, respect to you, I hope you have a good day. Maybe you don't want to hear that from that neighbor, that child of God. But they acknowledged you and they respected you and they never disrespected you. It's the mindset for me. How you can sit here and play in somebody's face, but as soon as somebody play in your face, you don't like it at all. You don't like it. You get real personal. You want to go back and forth with words. You want to fight. It's the mindset for me. Stay in your lane, neighbor. It's called respect. It's a two-way street. And if you don't understand the definition of a two-way street, you need to stay in your lane and respect your neighbor with no malicious intention. It's the thought process for me with God's protection for every direction. Just because someone gave up on you, don't give up on yourself. Just because someone overlooked you, don't give up on yourself. You are genuinely loved by all the right people. You are genuinely respected by all the right people. And you're going to be treated with respect 365 days with no malicious intentions being harmed towards yourself and others around you. Never allow the enemy or hate in disguise or personal malicious intentions like your thought process of your freedom, because you are worthy and you matter. God did not install within you to give up. God did not install within you to live in fear or be discouraged. The enemy did. God installed patience within you so you become your best self-vision of yourself. God installed self-awareness, self-respect, self-peace, self-control, self-discipline, self-confidence, self-care, self-value, self-love, self-worth, self-peace, self-patience, and healthy boundaries so you can become your best self-vision to elevate and understand that God chose you to see another day and God was patient with you because you are the miracle within the miracle. Because God was patient with you another day and God allowed you to see another day for a reason. So protect your energy because everybody's having your time. I truly appreciate your time to the genuine ones only. Have a safe day. Have a safe week. Protect your energy because everybody's having your time. They will sit here and fake gaslight you. Like 212 and God and the whole entire time. They trying to stock you out the door box of your family or your eyesight. Protect your energy because everybody's having your time. Now, aging, you will love respect. Love yourself with God's protection every direction. Respect. Yeah.